Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's stick mobility class. So, for today's class, I'm going to be using one stick, okay? And I'm going to be using a squat rack. This is going to act as if it's a wall or something stable for you to press in against, because we are going to get into some rotation drills that's going to require us to anchor against the wall, right? We are going to get into some floor-based core and hip drills today, okay, for the strength training part. But we're also going to get into working in opening up some rotational aspects and stretching out the adductor lines and opening up the hip flexors as well at the end, okay? So we're about to get started here. I also do have a pad for us to kneel on because we are going to need that later, okay? So keep a pad or a pillow close to you, okay? So I'm going to grab a stick. We're going to get started here. And so what I want to do first, we're going to start with the feet and ankles, okay? So I'm going to have my feet roughly about shoulder width apart, okay? I'm going to take that horse stance. I'm going to have my feet facing forward. I'm going to have the stick in my midline here, okay? So right in the center of my body. I'm going to grab the stick with both hands at roughly about chest to sternum height here, okay? And the bottom of the stick is going to be angled in towards me just a little bit here, okay? So what I want to do from here, I want to drop my pelvis under my spine. I want to have the knees bent, nice tall spine. And I'm going to bring both heels up. I want to keep all 5 toes on the floor here. Good. You're going to hold. We're going to come back down slow. Good. Let's go up again. Good. Hold. We're going to hold every time. Okay. Back down. Oop. Up. Good. Hold. Back down. Let's go a few more here. Okay. Up. Good. Back down. Excellent. Let's go 2 more. Up. Hold. Back down. Good. Last one. Up. Hold. And back down. Excellent. Good. And so now we're going to go with lateral shifting, okay? So we're still going to be in that same stance. We're only going to do one ankle at a time here, okay? So let's start with that left ankle. I want to keep, again, my pelvis under my spine. Stay up tall. Hands are still stacked at shoulder height. So I want to go my left ankle up, okay? Bring it up as high as you comfortably can, right? Now I'm going to shift my ankle or my heel towards my midline or towards the stick here, okay? Then I'm going to shift it away from the stick, so I'm going to shift it out. And I want to make sure that my knee is not moving as much as possible here, so that movement comes from the ankle. So shift in. Good. Shift out. Good. Shift in. Excellent. Out. Good. One more time each way. In. Out. Back to center. And down. Now we're going to switch sides. Okay, so we're going to go to right. Bring that right heel up. Okay, all 5 toes in contact with the ground at first. We're going to shift that heel inwards. Okay, towards that midline. Good. Now you're going to shift out. Good. In. Out. Make sure you're breathing, controlling it. Okay? If you have to, look at your knee to make sure it's not moving as much. Shift in. Out. One more time. In. Good. Out. Back to center and down. Excellent. So now we're going to go circles. So we're going to shift back over to that left foot. We're going to go start with counterclockwise on the left foot. So back in that same stance, you're starting at 12 o'clock. We're going to go 9, 6, 3, 12. Good. 9, 6, 3, 12, 9, 6, 3, 12. Let's go one more. 9, 6, 3, 12. All right, let's go opposite direction. Now let's go clockwise. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Good. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 more. 3, 6, 9, 12. Last one. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Bring that heel back down. Now we're going to go over to the right side. So only work with circles as big or as small as you can control here, okay? So right heel up. Start at 12 o'clock. We're going to go clockwise. So we're going to go 3, 6, 9, 12. Good. 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, and 12. One more time. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Now we're going to go opposite. So 9, 6, 3, 12. Good. 9, 6, 3, 12. 2 more. 9, 6, 3, 12. Last one. 9, 6, 3, and 12. Back down. And good. So now we're going to move on to pelvic tilts. We're first going to start off with posterior anterior. Then we're going to move on to lateral tilting here, okay? So I'll go from a little bit of more of a side profile here. Okay? Stand still at a little shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. Okay? Stick is in front of the body. I want to drop my hips down. Again, make sure my spine is up tall. Pelvis is stacked under the spine. Okay? I'm going to drive the stick down as I do a posterior tilt. So as I tuck my pelvis in here, I'm going to drive the stick into the ground hard. Okay? About 20 to 30%. Not too significant. So I'm going to first start with the posterior tilt. So I'm going from neutral. I'm going to do a posterior tilt. Squeeze my glutes. Drive that stick into the floor. 20%. Hold. Good. Now I'm going to do an anterior tilt. I'm going to ease off a little bit of that tension. Good. Do a posterior tilt. Drive that stick into the ground a little bit harder. Good. Make sure those glutes are active. Now do an anterior tilt. Ease off some of that tension. Good. Posterior tilt. Squeeze those glutes. Drive that stick down. Anterior tilt. Ease off some of that tension. One last time. Drive the stick down. Posterior tilt. Squeeze those glutes. Anterior tilt. Ease off some of that tension. Good. Back to center. Excellent. So now we're going to go with lateral tilts here. Okay, so we're going to go back facing forward. Same stance. Okay. Now, let's switch our hands. Okay, before I've had, let's do the stick on the side, and we're only tilting to one side. I'm just going to have the stick in front today. Okay, so hand is still roughly about sternum height. Shoulders are down. Pelvis is stacked under the spine here. I want to do a minor posterior tilt, so I want to tuck my pelvis in a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to bump my hips up to the right. I'm lightly driving the stick down, about 15% tension, just to keep that entire front line active here, okay? Now I'm going to bump my hips up to the left, still keeping that posterior tilt. Good, bump to the right. With that right glute fire, bump to the left. Good, breathe, bump to the right. Good, bump to the left. Good, right. Make sure you breathe. Left, so driving that stick into the floor. Don't lose that tension. One more time. Right. And left. Good, back to center. And relax. Good. So now we're going to use So I'm going to use a squat rack, so this is going to be the time for you to get to the corner of a wall here. I'm going to use the bottom of the rack as something I can anchor the stick against, okay? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have my stance width roughly about shoulder width here, okay? Now how far I'm away from the wall is roughly about 10 to 16 inches, okay? So I'm going to take the stick, I'm going to grip with my inside hand. So right now the stick's on the right side of my body. I'm gripping the top with my right hand here, okay? What I'm going to do from here, keeping my right arm straight, I'm going to start to hinge and drive my hips back, and I'm going to allow my spine to follow the stick. And I'm going to reach my left hand up towards the ceiling. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly come back up. Excellent. We're going to do that again. I'm going to move my hand a little bit lower on the stick. Okay? So now I can further get a little more rotation. So, arm straight, comes across the body. Going to hinge my hips back. Reach with that right. I'm going to rotate up with the left arm. Reach for the ceiling. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Going to come back up. Excellent. We're going to go one more time here, okay? Move my hand down a little bit more. All right? Arm straight, comes across the body. Hinge my hips back. Reach with that right arm. Rotate up with the left. Make sure you breathe. Look up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Come up slowly. Excellent. Now we're going to switch sides. There's a way to kind of work on some of that active rotation here. So, bottom of the stick's in line with the toes. Stance is still the same. You're doing the same thing. So, left hand is up top towards the top of the stick here, or roughly about nose height. What we're going to do, same thing. I'm going to start to hinge my hips back, reach the stick across my body, and I'm going to rotate my right arm up towards the ceiling. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Excellent. Let's get 2 more. Move the hand down a little bit more. Okay. Arm straight. Arm goes across the body. Reach up towards the ceiling. Really reach across with that left arm. 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Excellent. Let's go one more. Slide that hand down a little bit more here. Okay. Same thing. Arm comes across the body. Hinge those hips back. Reach across with that left hand. Reach that right up towards the wall or towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Come back up slow. Under control. Good. Excellent. So, now we're going to do here, we're going to get into a split squat position. We're going to work on some rotation from there, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take the stick behind my back here. I'm going to start my left leg forward, okay? I'm at my right foot back. So the distance of it isn't going to be that great, right? I'm not going with a really big split, going with a relatively normal split, not too big, right? I want to stay here. Now, what I want to use the stick for, what I want to focus on is I'm using the stick as a way to kind of generate tension by driving my hands forward lightly. That's going to get some of that anterior tension here. Okay, so from here, I'm going to load that front leg, make sure my knee is stacked over my ankle here. And I want to squeeze my right glute. I want to keep that hip in extension. And I'm going to rotate to the left, really driving that right hand forward. Now I'm going to come back to center. Now I'm going to rotate to the right, driving my left hand forward. Good. Back to center. Rotate to the left. You're only generating a little bit of tension here. Back to center. Rotate to the right. Drive that left hand forward. One more time each way, back to center. Rotate to the left. Drive that right hand forward. Good. Back to center. Rotate to the right. Back to center. Good. Now we're going to switch feet. Okay? So same thing, you want to load that front leg, step, bring that knee over that ankle, okay? Have that left hip or left glute tight. Lock that extension in, okay? Drive the hands forward just a little bit on both sides. Gonna rotate to the right first, driving that left hand forward. Good, back to center. Now rotate to the left. Try to keep that knee, that front knee, in line with the midfoot. Back to center. Good. Rotate to the right. Drive that left hand forward. Back to center. Rotate to the left. Breathe. Back to center. One more time, each way. Rotate to the right. Drive that left hand forward. Back to center. Rotate to the left. Good. Back to center. And relax. We'll come out of it. And that concludes the warm-up. So for today's drills, for strength training, again, we're going to do a floor-based core and hip drill. Okay? So we are going to start on the floor. So I'm going to move this out of the way here. Okay? And so, what I want to do here, I'm going to lay on my back. And so, what we're first going to do is we're going to do a dead bug. Now, this variation, we are going to use our arms or hands to act as a way to utilize more isometric tension from the legs here, okay? So, my hands, I want them actually wider than shoulder width, okay? And so what I'm gonna do from here, I wanna tuck my pelvis, so I wanna make sure my lower back is flat to the floor, my entire spine is flat to the floor, okay? And I wanna keep it that way the entire time. Now I'm gonna have the stick roughly where I would guess to be right about where my hips are. Now, from here, I'm going to bring both knees up. I want to dorsiflex the ankles, both knees 90 degrees, and I want to push those knees into the stick while driving my arms down. I'm going to hold at 50%. Hold. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Bring the legs back down slow. So we're going to increase that tension. If you're starting to get any pain, either reduce the amount of tension or reduce the range of motion. You can always bring that stick down lower so your legs don't have to travel up as far, okay? All right, so let's go up to 70%, okay? Arms straight, again, right over the line of the hips here. Bring both knees up, ankles dorsiflex, and push. Try to create a bow in that stick. Hold. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Good. Okay. We're going to do 2 more reps. Okay. Same thing. Arms straight. Knees to the stick, 70%. Push. Hold. Make sure you breathe. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Good. Okay. I'm going to go 1 more rep here. Okay. All right, 70%. Bring those knees up. Arms straight. Push. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to do here, we're going to work from that. Now we're going to start to add in extending one hip at a time, okay? So what we're looking for here is how well can we control hip flexion in another hip, and how well can we split and open up those hips, right? Create that separation. So we're going to be in that same position. So I'm actually going to have the stick above, so more like where my belly button line is, okay? And so my personal hip that's the weakest is going to be the left. So I'm going to start with my left hip up, okay? I want to bring that hip to the stick here, okay? And I'm going to bring the right hip to the stick. I want to drive the stick into my knees. Now what I'm going to do from here, keeping my left hip flexed, I'm going to extend that right knee or right leg, hold, back up, bring it to the stick, hold, and back down. Now the amount of tension you're going to generate is going to be about roughly 60%. So as we go to extend that hip, it's really important for you to control that pelvis here, okay? So we're going to do 5 repetitions, okay? So from here, arm straight, bring that left hip up first, okay? Right hip to the stick, drive that left hip up, extend that right hip out, back up, 1, good, again, back up, 2, again, up, 3, again, up, 4, one more time, extend, up, 5, ease off, and relax, good. So now we're going to switch over to the other side. Okay, same thing. Okay, let's bring that right hip to the stick. Make contact, right knee to the stick. Good, bring it left up, push, extend, back up. 1, extend, up. 2, extend, up. 3, 2 more, extend, up. 4, one more time, extend, up, good, ease off, and relax, good. So now we're going to move to a couple of standing drills here, okay? So for this one, we're going to actually use, so I'm going to use the squat rack as a way to also balance, okay? So that's the good thing about it, it's pretty darn versatile. So you can use a wall here if need be. And so what I want to do, I want to use this as if it's a second stick, okay? So what I'm going to do is this stick here, the stick that I have, is going to be my primary driver of activating that anterior line here. We're going to do a hip abduction drill, okay? So how far you're standing away from the wall is, again, it's going to really depend on your hip mobility. So stand as far away as you can comfortably handle. So the stick is in my left hand here, okay? It's in line with my pinky toe on my left foot, and it's angled towards my toes. It's about roughly 1 to 2 inches in front of the line of my toes here, okay? I'm actually going to hold onto the squat rack, but if you have a wall, you can actually push against the wall here, okay? And so what I want to do here, go through a series of activation. I'm first going to drive the stick down 50%, okay? I'm going to lightly push my right hand into the wall. Good, I'm going to create more stability on that right side. Now I'm going to lift my right leg up off the floor. I'm going to bring it to the rack or wall and push with 50% tension. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1, good. Back in. Slowly ease off all that tension, and good. We're going to repeat that again. So if you only have one stick, you can still do some of those hip abduction drills while using the stick the stick that you do have as a driver to activate all those tissues, right? So let's go 2 more. Let's go 70% tension here. So arm straight, shoulder down, drive that stick into the floor, create that tension, push your right hand into the wall, lift the right leg off, Bring the outside of your foot to the wall and push. Good. 70%. Should feel that glute fire on both hips. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Bring it back in. Ease off that tension slowly. Excellent. Let's do 2 more here, okay? So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to step a little further away to create more of a challenge so you can do that, okay? 70% still, okay? So drive the stick down. Drive that right hand into the wall. Bring that right foot to the wall. Push. 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot back in and ease off that tension. Good. Let's go one more time here. Arm straight, okay? Drive that stick into the floor, push. Lift that right leg up, keep pushing that right hand to the wall. Bring the foot to the wall, push, push, push. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off, relax. Awesome. Now we're going to switch over to the other side here, okay? So, we're doing the same thing. We're starting at 50%, okay? So drive the stick down, push the hand into the wall, bring that left foot to the wall, push. 3, 2, 1, ease off, come in, and ease off that tension. Good, let's get 3 more here, okay? Now we're gonna be at 70%, okay? Arm straight, drive the stick into the ground, activate, push the hand into the wall, bring that left foot to the wall, hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off, and relax. Good. Do the same thing. You could step away from that wall a bit, create more of a challenge for yourself, okay? So now my left arm is straight here, right? Arm straight, shoulder down, 70%. Drive that stick into the floor, push, push, push. Drive that left hand to the wall. Good. Bring that left foot to the wall, push. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Bring that foot back in and relax. Ease off that tension. One more time here, okay? Same thing. Drive the stick down, push, 70%. Activate. Good. Push the hand into the wall. Pick that left foot up off the floor. Bring the outside of that foot to the wall. Push, 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 push. 70%. 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring the foot back in and ease off that tension. Good. Awesome. So, nice little trick there. If you have a wall, you kind of almost have a second stick. So, now we're going to get into working on opening up those hip flexors here. Okay? So, I'm going to take the pad that I mentioned earlier and I'm going to set it down. So I'm going to start with my left knee down first, okay? And I have my right foot forward. So with this, the only thing we're going to do throughout this drill is I'm going to change the position of the stick, okay? We're going to start initially with the stick in front, okay? And then we're actually going to move the stick outside of that front leg, okay? And then we're also going to change our hand position by actually also reaching up. So we're going to do 3 different variations as we go through the stretch here, okay? So my back foot is flexed or extended. So I want the top of my foot into the floor here, okay? So I can get some of that tension. Now both hands are going to be stacked on the stick on top of one another, roughly about shoulder height here, okay? Now what I want to do from here, first going to activate by driving the stick into the floor with 15% tension, push. It's going to get a little bit of activation in those anterior tissues. Drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that left glute. That might be a stretch there, so go ahead and hold that for a second. Control your breathing here, Okay, it's really important. Now we're gonna slowly kind of work in and out of it, right? Like kind of floss it. So I'm gonna shift my hips forward a little, breathe. Now I'm gonna come back. Good, shift the hips forward again. Good, come back. Shift the hips forward. Good, come back. Let's do 2 more. Shift those hips forward. Keep all that tension. Make sure that glute's tight. Come back. One last time. Shift those hips forward. Good. Come back. Ease off. Good. So we can kind of floss those hips, start to slowly open those up, right? And so now the stick is on the outside of my right foot. It's lined up with my midfoot here, okay? Now, my left hand is gonna be over the top of my right hand here, okay? I wanna make sure it's actually like on top of it, and it's going to cross the body. So this knee is still gonna stay in midfoot, and I'm rotating my thoracic spine to the right or towards the stick, and I wanna keep it that way, right? I don't wanna end up being here or end up being in a really awkward position, okay? So from here, arms are straight, drive that back foot into the floor, drive the stick into the floor, squeeze the glute, and I'm gonna shift my hips forward as I'm rotated here. You're gonna get a deeper stretch in that hip flexor, okay? Good. So we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna floss in and out of it. So we're gonna come back up. I'm gonna shift my hips forward. Good, back up. Shift forward, breathe. Come back up. Shift forward. Good. Back up. Let's go 2 more. Shift forward. Back up. Last one. Shift forward. Back up. And ease off. Good. Okay. So now we're going to do a reach here, okay? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my left hand, I'm gonna reach up towards the top of the stick with my thumb facing up towards the ceiling here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna use the right hand to further create a little bit more tension by driving that right hand out a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot, right? Trying to create a little bit of a bow. So, stick is in the same position here, okay? My spine is rotated to the right just a little bit, okay? My T-spine is. I'm gonna go through those same series of activations, right? So I'm gonna drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that glute. I'm gonna lightly drive the stick down. I'm gonna shift my hips forward. Now what I'm gonna do with this right hand, I'm gonna push it out just a little. Bring it back in. Let's go 2 more. Push it out. Create that bow. Good, back in. 1 more time. We're pushing it out diagonally. Push. Ease off. Good. Let's go ahead and switch sides here, okay? Okay, left foot is forward. We're gonna go through all those same things again, okay? Bottom of the stick is in line with the ball or big toe of the front foot, okay? Right hand is up top, left hand is on the bottom, okay? Drive the stick down to the floor 15%. Drive that back foot to the floor, squeeze that right glute. Just hold that position. Focus on deep breathing here, okay? Deep breathing. Now we're gonna begin to floss in and out of that stretch, okay? Remember, if it's painful, reduce your range of motion or reduce the tension, okay? So, shift forward. Breathe out as you shift forward. Good, back up. Shift forward. Good, come back. Shift forward. Come back. Let's go 2 more. Shift forward. One more time. Shift forward. Come back. Ease off. Good. Pick the stick up. Bring it to the outside of that front foot here. Okay. Remember, spine is rotated, hips are not rotated. Right hand up over the top of the left. Okay, same thing. Drop the stick into the floor, 15%. Draw that back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute, and shift the hips forward. We're gonna floss in and out, come back. Good, go forward. Focus on controlling that breathing. Come back, shift forward. Good, come back, shift forward. Good, one more time, okay? Shift forward. Come back, ease off, good. Same thing, right hand up over the top, thumb facing up towards the ceiling here, okay? Left hand's here. Okay, same series of activation. Again, spine is still rotated a little bit. Drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute, drive the stick into the floor. Good, shift those hips forward. Now we're gonna push that left hand out. Back in. Good, 2 more, push. Breathe, back in. Excellent, one last time. Extend those hands out. Good, back in and relax. Good, awesome. Now what we're gonna do from here, we're gonna actually get into stretching out that lateral line a little bit. We're not gonna do it in a bow and arrow, however, we are gonna do a hang. We're gonna do a hang from this half kneeling position. So, since we just stretched out that side, let's go to switch sides again. So, I'm gonna have my right leg forward here. I'm gonna have my left hand up over the top. Now, the stick is in line with my hips, with the front of my hips here, okay? I'm focusing on shifting my hips laterally towards the bottom of the stick. So I wanna make sure that stick is angled out a pretty decent amount here, okay? But again, you can always play with it yourself here, right? So I wanna grab up top or as high as I can with my left hand here, okay? I'm gonna place my right hand on the stick as a means of support, okay? Now what I wanna do from here, place my right hand on the stick, reaching up with the left, I'm going to now start to shift my hips downward towards the bottom of the stick. I'm shifting down this way. You're gonna feel that lateral line open up. You're gonna feel that lat, right? The rib cage, all those tissues in the lower back, the QL, even the lateral part of the hip. Good, you're gonna slowly come back up. Excellent. We're gonna do 2 more on that same side, then we're gonna switch, okay? Grab up top. Right hand is on a stick or on a stick for support. Okay, drop that left hip down towards the bottom of the floor. Breathe. Come out slowly. Excellent. One last time. Okay. Drop that hip towards the bottom of the stick. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, going to come back up. Now we're going to switch sides. Okay, left foot is forward. Okay, wipe my hand off. It's starting to get a little sweaty here. Reach up top with the right hand. Okay, stick is still aligned with the front of the hips here. Left hand is on the stick for support. Do that same thing. Drop that right hip down towards the bottom of the stick. Reach with that right hand, reach up, 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 up. Good, slowly come out. Excellent, we're gonna do 2 more here, okay? So drop that right hip down towards the bottom of the stick. Reach. Good, back up. Excellent. We're gonna do 1 more, okay? Grab the stick, make sure you got good support. Drop that right hip down towards the floor. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, back up. Excellent, good. Now we're gonna do here, gonna work on that adductor, those adductors A lot of people's adductors get tight. Mine get tight too. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna have the right foot out, left leg is going to be down. So I want my foot to be facing forward here, okay, or forward as much as you possibly can. And so the stick is gonna be on my left shoulder here, okay? So I want it on my left shoulder. It's better to have it on the leg that's, on the side of the leg that's hinging, I feel, just so you can actually better control it a little bit more and you're reaching out with this left hand or outside leg. So what I'm gonna do here, back foot flat to the floor, okay? Not digging the big toes in. And what I'm gonna do from here, bottom of the stick is angled out pretty far in front of me, okay? Now what I'm gonna do, I wanna keep this foot flat, right? I wanna drive my hips back and I wanna reach towards the bottom of the stick, right? Want to get that stretch in that adductor here. Now I'm going to rock in and out. So I'm going to bring my hips forward. Now I'm going to bring my hips back. Make sure you breathe. Good. Hips up and forward. Bring those hips back. Good. Let's go a couple more. Bring those hips forward. Bring them back. Good. Bring the hips forward and back. Reach. Good. Bring it back to neutral. Come back up. Excellent. Now we're going to switch sides. So you should feel some of those tissues loosen up a bit as you're rocking in and out of it. Okay? So, same thing. Stick is on my right shoulder. Angled out far from me, okay? Back foot is flattened to, or right leg is, top of the foot is flattened to the floor here, okay? Try to keep that foot forward, foot facing forward as much as you possibly can without any pain or discomfort. And now we're gonna do that same thing. I'm gonna drive my hips back, reaching down the right hand, good. I'm gonna shift my hips forward, good, breathe, shift them back. Good. Shift forward. Deep breath in. Shift back. Breathe out. Let's go a few more. Shift forward. Back. Shift forward. Back. One more time. Shift forward. And back. Good. Back to center. Slowly come up. Wiggle that foot back in. And now we're going to stand up. Okay? So I just want to finish off with one final stretch here. Just going to stretch out that arm line, a little bit of the pec and the neck here. Okay? So with this one, so stick is into the bottom of the corner of the wall here, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stand outside, so right over here, is I'm gonna bring this hand down to my side and I wanna keep my body forward. So I'm gonna go with a stagger stance. Since the stick's on my left side, my right foot is gonna come forward here, okay? What I'm gonna do from here, I'm gonna bring my hand down and it's gonna come back into shoulder extension. I'm going to feel a stretch in the chest and the shoulder. Now what I want to do from here is I want to turn my head away from my left hand, okay? Then I'm going to shift, I'm going to point my chin up and behind my right shoulder. Focus on breathing. We're going to hold this for about 20 seconds, okay? Breathe. Deep breathing. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to bring my head back down, rotate it forward. Now I'm going to slowly move my left hand back to the forward position. Now we're going to switch sides, okay? So stick us into the wall here, okay? Left foot is forward, right hand is forward. Now I'm going to do the same thing, okay? I'm going to bring this hand down and back. Go till you get a stretch in that shoulder pack. You might get a little bit of bicep too. Okay, hold this position here. Now turn your head to the left. Bring your chin over your left shoulder. Hold for 20 seconds, breathe. Breathe. And 3, 2, 1. Bring the head back down. Forward. Good. Bring this right hand back forward. Ease off. And excellent. Good. That concludes today's Saturday Stick Mobility class. Thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you guys had a good class today. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. And again, happy Saturday.